Hey guys, Mike Bills here with Measurable Solutions. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're healthy. I hope things are starting to come out of it wherever you are with COVID-19. So I wanted to come on and just kind of talk to you about really kind of two main concepts today. And the first is really, I was reading something in the last couple of days and it basically was looking at small businesses, right? Which all of us are. I mean, whether we own 3 practices or we own 7 practices or 21 practices or 1 practice, whether we have 1 employee or 300 employees, we're still considered a small business. And so I was reading this and it was talking about how 25% of small businesses are going to not reopen or will have to close their doors permanently when this whole COVID thing continues to progress and as we come out of it, et cetera. And if you think about it, that's really an astonishing number. I mean, so 1 in 4 PT practices is not going to survive this COVID-19. And then the study went on to talk about how another 30% of them will struggle for the next 5 years. And so the question is, do we want to be part of the 50% that comes out of this very strong, or do we want to be part of the 50% or 55% that comes out of this not doing very well and struggling and or having to permanently close our doors? So, I want you to take a look at, there's really 2 options there. You can be part of the 45% or so that comes out of this very strong and actually doing better, or you can be part of the 55% that comes out of this either closed altogether or just struggling, headaches, heartaches, turmoil, etc. over the course of the next, 3 to 5 years, if not in the course of the next 3 to 6 months. And so really, there's a couple of concepts that are going to help you to come out of that as part of that strong group. Number 1 is, what are you doing right now to be marketing and promoting to past patients, physicians, people in the community, etc.? And it's really a matter of, yes, people are starting to get restless being at home. All states are starting to move into some form of the 5 phases to come back out of things. And depending on what phase you're in, there are certain things you need to be doing in your community so that your past patients, your physicians, and even people that have never been to you before know what it is that you guys are doing to make it safe. Your staff need to know what you're doing to make it safe. Do you have policies on wearing PPE? And have you taught people how to put masks on properly, how to not touch their face, how to adjust the mask? If you're wearing gloves, how to take gloves off. I mean, one of my favorite things to do is to watch people coming out of the grocery store and they take gloves off with their mouth, right? I mean, oh my gosh, just walk down the aisle and lick everything that was in the grocery store. Don't waste your time putting the gloves on. But that's where people's brains are at right now. And as owners, we have to help our patients that are going to come to us and our staff that are going to be the ones treating those patients. We have to help them to understand what to do, feel comfortable with what to do, and be able to actually do it over the course of the day. So, make sure that you're promoting, marketing, that it's a safe environment. When people go out of the house right now, they equate everything to going to the grocery store. They're afraid to touch things. The cart, my gosh, when was that cleaned last? They equate it to that. And you don't want them to equate coming to physical therapy with going to the grocery store, because when they start to see the two as different, they will start to feel a lot more comfortable coming to you. They will keep all of their appointments. They will refer other people, and that's really what you need. And there's a science behind how you start to find out where people's minds are. And it really comes down to surveying them and doing what I call educomoting, which is promoting and educating at the same time. And so there's a direct science, a specific science, just like as physical therapists. There's a science to treating somebody's shoulder, somebody's neck. There's a science to how you need to be communicating with your patients right now. And it's a very specific formula. And if you follow it, you get great results. I had conversations with 2 clients yesterday from Measurable Solutions. Their new patient numbers are skyrocketing in the course of the last 5 weeks because they're applying the specific science and getting the results that they want to get. One of them is actually back to their pre-COVID-19 levels. They're in Arizona, and where restrictions, I think they're in phase 2, she said, and they're doing great because they're following that specific science. Just like a shoulder, we follow the science of what to do, and they get better. Same thing is true as a business owner. If we follow the science of marketing and promoting, all of a sudden our new patients are starting to rise and coming back in. And then the second thing that we really need to make sure that we're putting our attention on as private practice owners is making sure that our staff are in the right frame of mind, that they're ready to be in the office, that they are not just able to do it, but they are willing to do it. And so on a webinar that I'm doing today for Measurable Solutions, I'm going to talk about these things. I'm going to talk about what are the promotional actions and the marketing actions that you should be doing, but also how do you make sure that you determine that your staff are willing and able? Because when they're willing and able and willing, again, willing is the key thing. When they are willing, then they will be the people that will help you to be part of that 45% that comes out of this very strong. But when they are shy, when they are timid, when they are apprehensive, and that may not be how they were 6 months ago, but when that's how they are right now in this present time in the environment that we're in, that's going to be the state of your business. They're not going to be able to convince patients that it's safe if they themselves don't know and feel and trust that it's safe. If they're not comfortable treating patients with a mask on and making sure that they don't touch their face 75,000 times, they won't be comfortable helping a patient to do it for an hour. And that's all we're asking our patients to do is come see us for an hour. But if your staff can't do it for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, there's no way that they're going to be able to get that patient to do it. So again, you've got to have some conversations, and there's a science behind dealing with your staff and making sure that you've got the right staff on board, because now is the time, whether you have the PPP loan and it's coming to an end, or you're at the beginning of it, or you didn't have it at all and you've been paying everybody out of your piggy bank, now is the time to make sure that you are training yourself on how to be a business owner, how to make sure that you guys are marketing and promoting correctly, how to make sure that you're handling your staff correctly. And now is the time for you to train your staff on how to handle their patients, how to communicate with their patients, how to make sure that they themselves are able to do what they need to do and getting the patients to do what they need to do in order to come in. And that really comes down to that exact science and understanding. How do you determine if somebody is not just able, but that they are willing and able to do what you need them to do? So the link for the webinar is in the bio part below. Click on it. Let's get you registered. It's today at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. It's a webinar that we're going to be talking about how to basically get your patients and your staff coming back in and get your business up out of wherever it is right now. Most of the practices that I've talked to over the course of the last couple of weeks, they've bottomed out somewhere around 20 to 30% of what their norm was before. Unless you're in some of those Midwestern states like Wyoming and Montana, they didn't seem to be as affected. But otherwise, California, Florida, Texas, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, everything pretty much in that whole rest of the country, we've all dropped down into that 20 or 30%. But if you follow the science and you do what the scientific approach tells you for managing your staff properly and doing the right things now to get new patients and your staff back in, you can be back up and running in no time and be part of the 45% of the small businesses that will actually come out of this stronger. Because keep in mind, for every business that closes, that's patients that you have the potential to get. But if you aren't able to promote properly and have your staff willing and able to handle them and treat them appropriately and safely when they come in, you're not going to be part of that 45%. Those patients that are coming to you because some other place closed, they'll go find someplace else and you'll become part of that other statistic. So I don't want that for you. So join us today for the webinar, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. You can click on the link in the bio, or you can go to ptwebinars.net. We're doing the webinar today on getting patients back into your practice and getting your staff able to get those patients back into your practice. So join us. I hope you're safe. I look forward to seeing you. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me, private message me, or reach out to me, Mike at FortisBusinessSolutions.com. I'm happy to chat with you and help you to understand some of the things that you can be doing. So take care, be healthy, and I'll see you guys later.